Hello everyone, this is model number 23, I believe, Brian's Eclipse from Fast and Furious. And here's the picture of the car itself. Now, again, this being model 23 instead of model 31, I wasn't videotaping anything, well, except for episode 2, but that was videotaped after it was completed. This is showing how I started priming the parts and everything before I built the model itself. And of course, this time I primed them in the bottom of the gray bucket, or put on the base coat, you know, like the black chassis. And of course, I tried to take pictures of the part next to the step in the instructions where I painted it. By then, I'd narrowed down that painting was a pink color. And there's the instructions main sheet itself, probably shows all the colors on another page. And as you see, I separated out the parts based on what color they would be. And then I painted them separately, and you see the results there. That is the Tamiya light green, I believe. And of course, the body panels were colored gray, and all the chassis and detail parts were painted black based on the color key that was given in the instructions. And then, of course, I painted the car body, but I tried to protect the inside as much as possible so that everything would fit together well. That's the top scoop on the car itself. Now, that had to be glued into place. It didn't have a peg. But you see the candy lime green and the regular light green, and I field tested them with spare bits of sprue tree parts. And of course, a sideways view of the guide, but you see what it looks like with some of the stickers. Now, granted, there was a white scoop version and a green scoop version, and they had different parts based on which color you used. Of course, I used the green, and you see the light candy lime green on the left versus the light green base on the right. Now, what I eventually narrowed down to is the candy lime green on top of the light green. And I think the next picture shows some initial assembly, or at least demonstrating what the two different parts of the car look like based on which version you use, but that's the version I settled on, as you'll see in a later picture. And there's a very stark difference between candy lime green on left, light green on right. There's the candy lime green can. But I wanted to emulate the pattern I saw on the 2-pack DVD that I bought way back in 2006 of the Fast and Furious. That's how I watched them before I saw Tokyo Drift. And you can see here how I'm beginning to assemble the engine. Assemblies blue, decaled green, painted pink. That's how I do the color legend. And that should be what the color legend says at the top of the page there. And of course I get a picture of all 4 sides of the engine as it's painted and colored. So then you get back into the car body, as you can see here. And of course I started spray painting outside because I had a white table to use, and I just wedge it down on the can, a spare can of primer, and I start painting that way. That way you don't get it spray paint anywhere else. That was an old ratchet table anyway. But of course I used the bucket for the smaller parts just in case, because I realized you paint it outside and you get leaves and stuff blowing outside. Now it's a rather blurry picture, but don't worry, a couple more pictures and you'll have it non-blurry, as you can see. So that's the result. I think that's the candy lime green on top of the car. It's base color of light green. So you can see some of the yellowish orange stuff there. It should shine through on the top there. Now I haven't put the scoop in place yet. That will come later, but it will occur. And of course you get a picture of the roof from all 4 sides, and then a better picture of the port side of the car because the other picture was blurry. So there you go. And then you have all the hood attachments and everything, you see? Front and rear bumpers, not hood, bumpers. The hood will be on a separate picture, no doubt. And again, it's taken outside. This was early September of 2020. This was the last car that I did as practice before I worked on the Christmas presents for Mom and Dad. But those 2 cars will have to wait for the coming weeks for you to see what models they were. And I got everything inside and 2 different hood scoops painted 2 different colors. But you can only fit one of them on the car at once. You can see the candy lime green there. It's almost a yellowish orange along the bottom of that bumper there. Yeah, I took a lot of pictures. I can see that. But you also laid down the decal sheet. Now, when it's the green car, you use the blue stripes. When it's the white car, you use the red stripes. And of course, there's a dark gray. I think that was Testers. So its label's worn away. Oh, yes, speakers. Probably for the trunk. And I think that's the central... There it is. There they are installed. Probably behind the driver's seat or something. So you're beginning to assemble the interior cabin now. The seats, the speakers, probably the doors as well. And you see how you prop it up upright onto the microset and microsol. There you go. Now I wonder why it's painted that color. Or maybe it was unpainted. You're beginning to assemble the engine. There you go. See? The blue hoses, the chrome pieces that stay chrome. And there's a wide angle view of my model building station at Chalk River. Doubled as a storage room. I think you're beginning to assemble the window glass here. Yes, you can see the window glass gleaming in that picture. So now you're at step 9, okay. And I have a habit of taking pictures almost from all 4 sides every stage of the build, but it comes in handy now because you can document the entire build of the car, so that's great. Now this should be the dashboard, yep, with the steering wheel. There's even a decal. There's the speedometer at the top middle. And that should be the dashboard installed. And the mirror. You can see the rear view mirror and the glass. And I had to be very careful doing the black trim around the windows so as not to spill it onto the green paint. But then again, it's easily wiped off. There you can see the dashboard clearly, the gray. And now the black trim really jumps out, but it worked. Yeah, it looks very harsh there. It looks very cartoonish. I must have fixed it because it didn't look that much when the car was finished, as you saw from the thumbnail. But take a look. Ah, you're beginning the hood, aren't you? Is that the hood decal? Ah, there's the black hood. There you go. Don't know what that other one was. That looked weird. There's the black hood before the decal's on, and you see the hinges work. So you can put the hood up to show the engine bay. But I don't know why it wasn't showing the engine bay at that exact moment. You had to do the... I tried to simulate green underlights in that last picture. You'll get a closer look in a picture or two. There's the engine installed. There's the Tamiya, folk art versions of Tamiya. There's trying to simulate underlights. And then of course you do this 2 sections of the car, the body and the chassis. And the green trim on the underside. So this should be the assembly of the car. The wheels aren't in yet, but the body has been assembled to the chassis, or at least it should be. Now, don't worry, in the future I learned not to put the body face down onto the cutting mat, but have it more protected. See, like on the top of the instructions, perhaps. There you go. Ah, it's showing the engine bay with the hood off. That's it. So I took closer pictures. Like that's a distance picture with the headlights installed. You can see that. There's a closer picture with the bumper in place as well. There's the hood down. The decal's not yet in place, but you're getting there. There's a close-up view. Kind of looks like a Honda from that front angle. Now that's a 2001 car. It's a lot more curved than the Honda was at the time. There's the rear headlight bar. I mean the rear tail light bar, sorry. Well, rear tail light, that's kind of redundant, with the little lights in place. All right, there you go. Car body installed, green trim in place. And of course you take the pictures from either side. Although the next picture might be just a zoomed in one of this one. It is. Okay. So, yes, then you began installing the tailpipe and the muffler. That's something I had to repair recently after the move to Creemore. The tail fin, you can see the tail fin installed in the back, which you'll see closer in the next picture. And you can see the DeLorean Mark III box. That model will be yet to come as well. That was model number 19, actually. You've already seen that build. There you go. The wheels are in place. Perfect. And of course, I don't know if that's the box behind it that the car came in, or if that's a different model box. But the wheels took a bit of adjusting to get into place. As you'll see in the next picture, I had to tip the car up onto its side to get them glued in correctly. That's the underside of the hood. That's why it's haphazardly painted. And I realized it was safer to tip the car up onto the towel, leaning against its own box. Oh, there you go. You're beginning to put on the decals. Now, I believe that was in the hotel room after the hobby club meeting. And you finished up the car by putting on the final decals, including on the roof. There's the hood scoop put in place. Now, I had to paint that one by hand. There's a little decal in between the two headlights. Now this car took about 3 weeks to build. There's the license plate with a decal or two behind it, or below it. There's the tailpipe. Yeah, this car took about 3 weeks to build, a little bit every day. It's quite enjoyable, actually. There's the instructions showing the decals put in place. And the hood decal in detail. I guess the hood decal's not yet in place. That's a very shiny hood before the decal's in place. There's the hood up, just like you saw at the premiere of Back to the Fast and Furious 6 in Kingston in 2013. Now I think that is the hood decal in place. Strange that you don't see the design, but you'll see my workbench at the hotel room. That was Labor Day weekend of 2020. There's the car on the far left. So it worked out quite well. And then you had to do the other decal along the side of the car as well. And there's the right side, yes. So the next picture should show the decal on the hood. There you go, CMD? That's at least what it looks like. Don't know what it stands for. There's a good picture of the car with the decal on the hood. I guess the decal was put on in 2 separate stages. There's the starboard side, the right side of the car. There's the rear side of the car. Still in the hotel room. That's where I took the final beauty pictures on the Labor Day Monday. Or Sunday I think. So there's the left side of the car. So that's the end of Brian's Eclipse from Fast and Furious. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you here next time. Bye-bye.